Welcome back to the Market Wolf. There's only one way to say this. FUD. Fear, uncertainty, doubt about Quant. You were about to see, and I'm somebody that holds Quant, okay? And I still hold Quant, even with the information I'm about to disclose to you. And I promise you, you're not going to see this information on any other influencer's channel. So what I'm about to show here is going to help you make decisions about your future and about what you want to do. Personally, I'm going to tell you up front, despite what I'm showing you, I am planning on holding Quant for the long term. In the end, I will probably hold 10 Quant or more, and I am leaning towards more personally, but you have to decide your level of risk. All that said, we are about to do a deep dive on Quant's financials that you have never, ever seen before on any other channel. And I'm going to tell you up front right now, I could be wrong about this. Share this video. Leave comments. If you are wiser than me when it comes to evaluating a company, please tell me if I'm wrong. I could be. The math works out. So right up front, I'm going to tell you, Quant for the year of 2022, and I know you're like thinking, wait, 2022, it's like 2024 right now. Well, these documents are not being released in a timely manner. And that doesn't have to do with Quant trying to pull any shenanigans. That just has to do with the fact that Quant is based in the UK primarily, and these documents apparently don't have to be out essentially year over year. It looks like they're always looking back at the previous year. And so it looks like we won't have 2023's information until the end of 2024. I'm going to give you a balanced view of this though. We'll go back previous to 2022, and we'll also look at that evaluation of the company as well. Because, know this up front, evaluations of companies can fluctuate, sometimes wildly year over year, and that doesn't necessarily mean anything. However, Quant is leveraged up very high, very high. And from what I see in the math, again, if I'm wrong, correct me, and I'll issue another video that's a correction. But I'm putting this out there also as a way for you all to help me, because I'm an expert at the charts, no doubt about it. I'm 100% confident in my ability there. But when it comes to evaluating companies, that's not my strong suit. And so I want to make sure that I'm on the right track too. But this is what I am seeing. So I want to show you this short video on debt to equity ratio so you understand the math that we're about to do here with Quant. Watch this very short video, and then I'm going to show you Quant's numbers, and I'm going to tell you where you can find these papers from Quant.
The debt to equity ratio is a measure of a company's financial leverage. Al and Ed both go to the bank for business loans. The loan officer looks at their respective balance sheets. Ed has $120,000 in assets, cash, equipment, and so on. Ed also has $100,000 in liabilities, mostly loans. So Ed's equity is $20,000. The loan officer divides Ed's liabilities by his equity to come up with a ratio of 5. This means Ed has $5 of debt for every $1 of equity. Ed is highly leveraged, so he's a high risk for the bank. His application is declined. Al's balance sheet is much stronger. Al has $150,000 in assets and only $50,000 in liabilities. His equity is $100,000. Al's debt to equity ratio is 0.5, $50,000 over $100,000. This means Al has 50 cents of debt for every dollar of equity. Al's low debt to equity ratio makes him a low risk for the bank. His application is approved. The debt to equity ratio identifies companies that are highly leveraged and therefore higher risk. But no single ratio can tell the whole story. Debt to equity is one of the many metrics that investors use to evaluate a stock.
Okay, Okay, now that you've seen that video, let's run through the numbers. And at the end of this video, I'm going to bring up the documents slower so you can see them. I will provide links so you can go to these documents and look at them. And you can also check in the description box for those documents as well. Let's take a look at the bad first, and then we'll take a look at the good. Quant has been in both areas. Remember, I told you that this can fluctuate by rather large degrees year over year, but then I'll also tell you the concern, okay? So if we look at 2022, Quant was 5,518,532 euros in debt. Their equity was 2,210,830 euros. When we divide those numbers, we come up with a debt to equity ratio of 2.49 to 1 euro. Now, that could actually be rounded off. You can round the 9, you can round the 10th place up to a 5 because of the 9. You can round then that 5, the 1's place, up to a 3. So we're just going to call it 3 to 1. So essentially, Quant has a 3 to 1 debt to equity ratio. Equity being what they actually have on hand. Why is this bad if this has continued into 2023 and into 2024? We don't know yet because we don't have the documents, and we won't for a whole nother year. But the reason, if this is a trend that is setting, this matters, is because remember, credit is tightening. Interest rates have been going up. The full fruition of what that does is not felt for many months down the road completely. There are going to be a lot of zombie companies that go bankrupt. I was in my early 20s during the dot-com bubble. I remember it. You're going to have a lot of companies that go under. So there is a lot of risk here right now, potentially, based on what we see from 2022. But remember, it can fluctuate wildly. Let's look at the numbers from 2021. In 2021, there was 585,626 euros worth of debt, compared to an equity of 2,772,199 euros. That gives us a 0.211 equity to debt ratio. So we can round that off as well. So essentially it comes to 20 cents or 20 euro cents, I suppose, whatever they call it there, to every 1 euro. This is incredibly positive. So we have this massive flux back and forth. Now, could the ROI have something to do with this as well? Can Quant pull liquidity from us? Well, they could dump the rest of the Quant that is on the market. That is potential, and I assume they could make money that way if they had to. So that's something to keep in mind. But also keep in mind that based on 2022, no bank is going to want to lend to them. Remember that businesses, most businesses, are needing constant replenishing of credit. They need cheap new loans, and that's how a lot of these zombie companies have been going. Okay, you walk into a bank with that kind of debt to equity ratio now, do you think the bank is going to give you a loan? Well, this gets into another aspect of this. We also know what Quant is and what it's geared up to do. Do we think that the banks are going to let Quant fail? That's a question to ask yourself. And think about Veridian and his connections across the industry. So that's something to consider as well, not just the plain numbers. Now, I do want to show you, though, that profit is not looking good either. I'm going to bring up the document for you, and you tell me if you see profit there, and I'll leave it at that. I'll link you to the documents, and you can decide for yourself what you're going to do. So let me summarize what I believe, what I think, what I'm going to do with this information, this valuable information that you got on this channel, where you can hit the like button, subscribe, and definitely share so other people are aware of this. I think what I am going to do is, I know my risk to reward. I know that Quant is needed. I know they're leveraged up. Who isn't right now? And I believe that there is a high probability that in the future, if I hold 10, 15, 20 or more Quant, depending on what your situation is, that in 7 to 10 years, we could be looking at major gains. So measure out your risk to reward. Do you believe that Quant, the whole project, the company, is just going to go under? Are the banks going to let it go under? These are the things we have to think about. These are the things we have to think about as we are investing our money into any vehicle. Treat cryptocurrency, all of it, essentially like IPOs, right? There's some heavy risk involved, but there could be massive reward. And I believe in what I hold, and I will continue to hold Quant. And let's hope that Quant is able to pull this around. And next year, when the 2023 documents come out, let's hope that everything is looking good. I'm going to continue to watch those charts for you. I will occasionally update on Quant, but I don't have the time to dedicate to constant streams of videos. So please make sure you're subscribed to this channel so that you continue to get the most important updates that you will get. I'm here for you. I'm here to give you the real information, the real numbers, and the reality of your investment situation, no matter what it might be. If you've got questions about something you're thinking about investing in or you are invested in, just drop them down in the comments section. I'll be happy to answer. We'll see you next time on The Market Wolf.